Hello dear friends, this is Laboratory's YouTube channel. In this video we are going to discuss a cue card. Describe an interesting neighbor of yours. Let's begin with the cue card. Describe an interesting neighbor of yours. When you speak on this cue card, you have to cover the following cues. How long you have known this neighbor, what sort of person he or she is, how often you see him or her, and explain what kind of relationship you have with him or her. Let's begin with the sample answer for this cue card. Well, neighbors are like our relatives, so we can seek assistance from them in an emergency. Here, I would like to talk about my neighbor, Mr. Smith, who is the most interesting person in my neighborhood. Actually, he is an ex army officer who has served the nation for more than 20 years. He just moved into our locality a couple of years back with his family. Since then, he has become an active member of our society due to his helpful nature and social work. He really likes to help poor people in his leisure time and motivates and guides young children to take part in sports activities. I meet him almost on a daily basis in a nearby park where I go for a walk. I find him very interesting because he always shares his knowledge and experience with me. He guides me to keep myself fit and healthy through exercise and sports activities, so I can also join the military. Due to his sense of humor, he sometimes cracks jokes, which creates a laughable environment so one can never get bored while around him. When I visited his house, I was astonished to see the medals that he received for his bravery in the war. Now, I have a good bonding with him as we spend some time together every day. Last weekend, he went with me to do some voluntary work in the outskirts where he provided study materials to poor children. So, Mr. Smith is the most interesting neighbor I ever come across. This was the cue card. Now we will look at the follow ups for this cue card. The very first one is: do you think neighbors are important? I believe good neighbors certainly play a vital role in everyone's lives. When someone is in real emergency, then the neighbors are the only ones who can provide them a helping hand. Also, we share many happy and sad moments with them, as they can be very close to us. For example, my neighbors always help me whenever there is any small get together. Next question is: what are the qualities of a good neighbor? I would say there are a lot of qualities that a good neighbor should have. They must have an empathetic and helpful nature so we can seek assistance from them in need. Then they should be able to understand their limitation so they do not invade our privacy. Next question is: do most Indian people know their neighbors? As far as I know, most people in India know their neighbors. Many people live in small cities and villages where life is slow, so they have time to meet and interact with their neighbors. However, life in big cities is very fast and most people are working, so they hardly have time to know who is living next door. Next question is, what are some of the qualities of a good community? I think a good community should have proper rules for their people. If anyone in a community is sick or poor, then individuals should provide them with the required assistance. Also, a community should organize some social events which can bring the whole community close. So, these were the follow ups for this cue card that can be asked by the examiner. If you like this video, please subscribe to our channel. We live on following social media websites. We live on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Do follow us there for latest updates. Thank you for being here.